What's up, guys? It's Wadliacha here from the Halo Fix, bringing you another Tuesday tip. Today's tip is going to be on Haven, and it's going to be all about Ricochet. Not necessarily strats or anything, but throws / passes and little basic tips that will help you out in your Ricochet game. Because many people always go straight for the goal, like running towards it, but that's not always necessary. You can always at least try to get 20 points instead of 50 points. So here's a throw that you're all familiar with, correct? Here's another throw down from wing to their goal. It's also well known. So you see all of these are good for passing too, but if you don't have any there, and it's better to get some points than none, so you don't always have to go straight for the goal. So I'm going to be showing you a lot of throwing tips, so bear with me as you hear goal a lot. And there's a little basic tip right there. You can thruster when the ball's on the ground or just spawning to get a nice little boost out of there. Watch this cool. I can just quickly change directions and get out of the way of fire and grenades that would be there. Another tip that's very crucial that many people don't know is about 99.9% of the time the ball bounces to the left. Who knows why? I really don't, but it hardly ever bounces straight or to the right, and this gives red team an actual advantage over blue team on most maps. As you can see, when it hits the ground, it bounces to the left for whatever reason. Here's an extreme example of this situation. See how it completely missed the goal, but then it just bounces straight back? Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask 343. So another thing is the ball is affected by grenades and bullets. So what if the ball's right next to the goal, but you can't quite reach it? You can shoot it in instead. Just like that. Pretty nifty. So another thing I'd like to point out is you want to aim for the very back of the goal. You want to aim high and aim for the back of the goal. Here's why. This is the area you want to kind of aim for because it's kind of hard to reach for the goalkeeper. As you all know, many teams will designate a goalkeeper to keep throws from making it in. That's why you got to be unpredictable and original with all your throws, and that's why I'm here to show you some. So as you can see, when the goalkeeper jumps, he's barely reaching above the goal line. So he's just going to have to time his jump just right to stop the ball from going in. And that's why you want to aim to get the ball coming straight from above most of the time. Using those tactics, you can do stuff like this. So if the goalkeeper is expecting you, which he always is usually when you try to do that throw, instead you can get up close and throw it straight up in the air. Another alternative is to throw it and hit the wall. It makes it even more unpredictable because the person's not going to be expecting it to bounce off the wall and go in. See, because like I said before, it comes from above, and you'd have to time the jump just right to stop that ball. So there's another one, just throwing it diagonally instead of straight from where everybody knows where you're coming from. Another one is to come around back and bounce it off the slant, because that also gets it from above, and they're not going to be expecting you to throw it. They're going to expect that you're going to run it in instead. So here's a few throws that you can do from down bottom mohawk. This one's very difficult to do, keep in mind, because it's just a tiny little slit you have to make it through. Not very practical throw, but I'll go ahead and show it because it is possible. What I would recommend instead, when you go down bottom mohawk, is to go onto this beam and get a nice little aim in the corner shot right there. Even better than that is to get on this beam and then further jump onto this platform and then throw it from there to try to get a different angle on the goalkeeper. Or you can come down and use this lift, throw it through that gap and get it in, or throw it like I did just right there. So you can also use this other beam to make them, they're not going to think you're going to throw it from there, but it's a pretty long distance throw. It's pretty nice. I'll just throw that one in there. So you can do this throw from top mohawk, but it's not very practical unless you jump off and kill yourself as you do it. Because there are beams right next to the slit right there, and since the height you're at is very difficult to throw it and not hit the beams. As you can see, I even nicked it there. So it's very difficult to, you gotta be very precise and have a lot of finesse to get this one in. Just keep that in mind. I'm just trying to show you all the throws that I think are possible. So unless you epically fail and improvise like me, that throw I wouldn't suggest. I would suggest going to the beams and throwing it from there instead. So here comes my favorite throw. So let's say you're fighting people bottom bridge right there instead. So you can't go up and do all those other throws I showed you. Come around to the side, and you can throw from here. Granted, this is a very difficult throw also, but that's only for blue team. Red team, this is actually a very practical throw and can be very useful. So yeah, you have to be, that's like basically the only direction you can get it in, because like I said before, it bounces to the left, so it's very difficult. And another thing, he's got to watch out for that beam, because the beam will bounce it off. So if you barely miss the beam, look, you think that's going to go in, but no. The ball bounces to the left and rolls away. So just keep that in mind. That blue team has a disadvantage in some ways like that. But on red team, you can see it's quite practical actually. Made it in 3 times in a row. Because as you can see, on red team, it actually helps. The ball bouncing helps. Because here in a second, you'll see these ones would have missed, but instead rolled towards it. I'm not sure if this is some sort of glitch that 343 didn't catch. You know, there's tons of those around these days. But I think it's something that needs to be mentioned. So on blue side, it's going to be a lot easier to score because all the balls are going to move towards the goal. They're going to bounce left towards the goal and around that little ledge. But on the red side, it's going to bounce away from the goal. So it's much more difficult to score on the red team when you throw the ball. So you guys just got to get creative. There's probably many more alternative throws I did not show. You just got to find a way to get height advantage and throw it from wherever if you cannot get the run in. So guys, I hope you enjoyed these tips. If you did, give it a like, comment, subscribe to the Halo Fix. As always, this is Wadliacha signing out.
Suicide. Ball out of bounds.